Hello, and welcome to the start of a little series that I've been wanting to do for quite some time now. In this series, I want to talk about different smart home tech products, mostly Google Home and a few various other ones. And I want to break down how I integrate and use a lot of these products on a day-to-day basis, and then kind of get feedback from you guys and how you use either Google Home or Amazon Alexa products and what other smart home tech you guys may have. So let's dive in and check it out. Alright, so before we dive into all the cool techie stuff and all the Google Home products, I want to briefly make mention of one piece or a couple pieces that are often the unsung hero of a lot of the smart home tech, and that's going to be your networking equipment. Most everything from your lights, your thermostats, your smart TV or streaming audio throughout the home is all networked and usually Wi-Fi based. So here what I've got is I purchased my own networking equipment. I've got a Netgear modem, Netgear router, as well as a Netgear switch. There's tons of good stuff out there, but for me I use Netgear. And I try to hardwire everything that I can to free up traffic for the devices that are dependent on Wi-Fi. So I've got my smart TV, my soundbar, Blu-ray player, Apple TV, all those things are hardwired. So basically I just have my laptop, tablet, phone, etc. that are using up the Wi-Fi. Now, if you were to look at some alternatives in the industry to what I like to call these DIY home automation or weekend warrior kind of projects, you've got things like Control4, Savant, Crestron, all really huge in the industry and very robust products when it comes to home automation. But if you look at what Google Home Hub is offering at $100 or $150, you get a lot of some of those same features and benefits in devices or products that cost thousands of dollars. So to get something in a package like that, like the Google Home Hub, and to be able to handle and do what it does at that price point is pretty wicked. So let's move on to lighting, and this is one of my favorite categories in the smart home ecosystem. Whether you're a person that wants to create automation or schedules for lights in bedrooms or throughout the entire house, or maybe you're just somebody who likes to set a certain mood or scene with different ambiance that you can do with a lot of these colored lights or dimmable lights. There's tons and tons of products out in the market that can turn your regular light bulbs or some of your dimmers and switches into something that's smart. For myself in my apartment scenario, given the space that I'm in, I decided to go with Philips Hue. I think in total I have about 6 of the colored bulbs, 2 of the ambient or just the plain white dimmable bulbs, and then I've got an LED strip behind the television to serve as a little bit of bias lighting. As I mentioned earlier, there's tons and tons of cool stuff you can do with these smart lighting or bulbs or dimmers and switches, whatever your configuration is. Personally, one thing that I really like is creating proximity alerts or proximity sensors. Let's say, for example, I forget to turn off a light and I head to work. Once I leave the little geographical area that I set within the Hue app, all of my lights will automatically turn off. If I'm coming home from work and it detects that I'm near, my lights in the living room will automatically turn on. So whenever I get home and it's late at night, I've got a little bit of light as I'm walking into the door, which is pretty cool. Another cool thing with the Hue lights that I do is create scenes. So once I activate the voice command, I will say or tell Google to set a movie night, or hey, it's movie time. At that point, all of the lights in the living room will dim down to about 30%. Now, as we keep making our way through different aspects of the Google Home Hub, we'll notice that next we get to media. Now, typically, if you're using an Android-based TV like the Sony's, or you've got a Chromecast Ultra hooked up to your television, you can just tell Google to play Netflix or play your favorite show, and it'll send video commands right to your television. It's fine, it works great. Just for me personally, I use an Apple TV for all of my media consuming, so I don't really use a lot of the media section of that. But there is other things that you can do with it that's not just video. If you're like me or most of the people out there that I know, I'm willing to bet that a lot of you guys like music. I love music. I listen to it every day, whether it's in my headphones or I'm at work or in the car, whatever the case is. I like music. So it's nice to be able to listen to music at home as well. Well, for me, I didn't want to go all in on Sonos. At the time that I started doing this, you didn't have the newer Sonos ones that included Alexa voice assistant. I know now they just did an update to allow the Google Assistant into the Sonos products. So for me, I went kind of what I like to call the poor man's Sonos route. I've got a Google Home. I think I've got a couple minis sprinkled throughout the apartment. I also have one of the Google Chromecast audios. I don't know if they're still making those, but I've got one of those hooked up. So I can play music throughout the entire apartment if I just want to play that one song. Or I've got individuals. Maybe I'm in the living room and my girlfriend is in the bedroom and I want to listen to one thing and she wants to listen to the other. We're able to split it up and divide it out like that, which is pretty nice. Alright, I just wanted to give you guys a quick example of how I have distributed audio set up in my house. The entire home is called Hogwarts, big Harry Potter fans. So each section that I have a Google Home product is a different room. So we've got Gryffindor, we've got Ravenclaw, we've got Hufflepuff, which we're in now. And when I tell Google to play music in Hogwarts, it'll play throughout the entire apartment, and we'll demonstrate that right now. Hey Google, play the story so far in Hogwarts.
Sure, the story so far from Spotify, playing on Hogwarts.
So it'll kick off. It's now playing from this Google Home speaker here. As I turn around, it's coming out of the soundbar that's right there. It's also coming out of the Google Home hub. I also have a Chromecast audio, so it's playing out of those two speakers, left and right there. I got the mini in the bathroom. And another mini right there playing music. So as I go from room to room, I can continue to listen to the same song. Now that we've wrapped up distributed audio, or the whole home audio portion, I wanted to move to comfort, or to thermostats. Most recently I just installed a Nest thermostat, and compared to some of the other smart thermostats that are on the market, and there's tons, Nest looks very good, very elegant, very nice. And in total it took me about 15 minutes from start to finish to replace the old thermostat and get the new one up and running and testing. It directly integrated into my Google Home hub, and I also have voice control with the assistant, and I can say turn on the AC or go to a specific temperature, which has been really nice during the summer times. As we move down the list, the last two things to go over is security. Now, some of you are probably gonna laugh. I know I laughed at myself when I got the camera, or some of you might think it's kind of Big Brother-esque, but I do have one Wi-Fi or smart camera, the Nest IQ. At the time, I had gotten it because my dog had recently had surgery, and with both my girlfriend and I at work, I wanted to be able to keep an eye on Sally and make sure she was okay while we were both gone. So for no other reason, I got a Wi-Fi or smart camera just so I could see my dog when I was at work. So maybe some of you guys can relate out there. If not, I'm just gonna look like a goof, and that's alright. The Nest IQ has a very good user interface. I can check it from anywhere, if I'm at work, if I'm down the street at the store, wherever. And it directly integrates into the Google Home hub as well. Although I don't know when you'd be using the hub to view your cameras if you're already at home, and especially the case here with the smaller apartment that we're in. And lastly, for security, and the most recent piece of smart home tech that I've got here is the August lock. Now, since I'm in an apartment, there are certain things that I can and can't do, and replacing the entire door assembly obviously isn't one of those things. August made it really easy and allowed you to just replace the deadbolt of your lock and make that portion smart, which has come in handy quite a bit. I get voice assistant with it, so I can tell the assistant to lock the front door. And for those of you who are paranoid and say, oh, well, somebody could just be on the other side and say, hey, lock or unlock this door. They definitely thought ahead of that beforehand, and they require an access code to unlock the front door. So not just anybody can unlock that. I can check the status of that from anywhere on my phone or tablet. If I leave to go to work and I think I may have forgot to lock the front door, I can request that from my phone and have it be locked. And I can also create temporary passwords or codes, so if I have a family member or somebody coming over, or more commonly we have a dog walker who will come in and she'll just enter the temporary access code to be able to get in and out of the home, which has been very convenient. Well, that about wraps it up. I appreciate you guys for sticking with me throughout this little tour of my smart home apartment. I'd like to get some feedback from you guys. What would you guys do differently, or what are some smart home or Internet of Things devices that you guys have integrated personally in your home or your apartment? Leave some comments down below, subscribe, like, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.